Well, I still have your attention. Assuming that I do. I thought I'd talk about having a white Christmas for a minute here. Now, I appreciate what Bing Crosby was talking about. I too dream of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. Because the ones I used to know was when I was a kid. And all I knew was that after opening presents, you'd run outside and play with awesome cold white stuff that you could throw and eat, unless it's yellow, and make snow angels and push your sister into an embankment and see the cool patterns you can make with your boots, and you can't feel your ears anymore. When you come back in, there's cocoa and marshmallows, and yes, white Christmases rule! And then I grew up. And while the thought of a white Christmas can still inspire some subliminal sense memory warmth, it also fills me with creeping dread. The weatherman seems pretty cheerful about his forecast for up to 18 inches by morning. Probably drives a Hummer, so we'll see. Me, I'm carting the family around in a two-door Hyundai. So here's the itinerary for Christmas morning on a white Christmas. 7 a.m. Wake up freezing, ignore it. 7:02, wife wakes you up to go find out why it's freezing again. 7:04, find yourself on the floor because your wife thought she'd help by giving you a little head start. 7:05, strike the thermostat 5 times to try to get the radiator to turn on. Attempt to take a quick nap by leaning your forehead against the wall. 7:10, go downstairs and see what's wrong with the furnace. 7:15, touch that pipe in the basement you're not supposed to touch, and you immediately experience a sensation not unlike the time you got your hand stuck in the George Foreman grill. 7:16, go to the bathroom to run your hands under some cold water. 7:17, realize the pipes are frozen and you don't have any running water. You open the freezer, hold that great ice cream cake from Friendly's for a minute to soothe your hand. 7:19, hope the wife doesn't come down to discover you eating that great ice cream. 7:45, peek out the window to behold a white Christmas indeed. A very, very white Christmas. You glance across the street to discover that, as Bing Crosby promised, your neighbor's treetop does in fact glisten. It also happens to be halfway through his windshield. Good grief. Why couldn't it have been Johnny Bigelow's car down the street? Bigelow. Or like Johnny Jerkalow. Your own car, thankfully, retains its windshield's integrity, but it is securely wrapped in a cocoon of snowy splendor. 7:55, fall asleep again while pulling on your left boot. 8 a.m. begin shoveling. 8:15, try to think of a reasonable response to, what are you doing out here shoveling? The kids are waiting to open presents. And where are your gloves? 8:30, finally emerge from layers of wet clothes to discover the kids went ahead and opened presents without you. Thanks for the bikes, Dad. We got them bikes. 8:40, back outside to shovel some more. Oh, to someday own a garage, or even a driveway. This parking on the streets for the birds. Not even sure why you're shoveling. I mean, they haven't plowed yet. You're just going to get halfway up the hill, and then they're going to come down and bury you. The kids are outside playing in the snow now. I thought we were on a schedule here. Bigelow seems to have had no trouble getting out. There he goes, driving up the street with his SUV. Smug jerk. Though we heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, you should have thought of that before we left the house. Yeah, that's right, you clown. My kids always use the bathroom before we leave the house. Wait a minute. This isn't my car I'm shoveling. 9:05. Okay. Your hands are kind of cold now because you wiped the snow off your neighbor's windows with your fingers. Wonder how much rum you could sneak into a cup of eggnog later before somebody notices. 9:08. Begin shoveling out your car. No, seriously. It's totally your car this time. You started by wiping off the license plate to be sure. 9:45. At last, your shoveling is complete! 9:46. Here comes the cloud barrier. 9:47. Look desperately for the shovel which you had earlier tossed in disgust after getting a splinter because, look, honey, I don't need to wear gloves. Your original shovel now buried beneath another half-foot of precious white dust, you get that other shovel. You know, the old cast iron one everyone keeps in the back of their garage or shack. It looks like it's older than Santa Claus and twice as heavy. Commence shoveling. 10:03. At last, your shoveling is complete! 10:05. Run inside to hurry up and get dressed. Tear through your gifts like a rabbit wolf because even though you don't have time for it, the kids want to see you open them. Don't point out that the kids are upstairs getting dressed. Let's see. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots? Nope. gloves. Poke your head into the stairway to yell up, "Thanks, kids!" Admittedly, you warm up immediately to the sounds of little voices shouting, "You're welcome, Dad." 10:15, get dressed. 10:18, "Why aren't you wearing the outfit I put in there for you to wear?" 10:19, get dressed again. 10:30, sit down for a minute to read the sports section but can't find it. Oh, there it is, soaking up the melted snow from the kids' boots. 11 o'clock, start up the car and hope your mother-in-law won't kill you because you were supposed to be at her house over an hour ago, and didn't she always say her daughter shouldn't be marrying such a dim-witted slowpoke? Only, she didn't use the word poke. She used the word which means buttocks or donkey. 11:10, speaking of which, do they really need to play Dominic the Donkey this often? 11:15, the kids have to pee. Apparently it was my responsibility to remind them. You win, Bigelow. 11:30, kids are suited back up in their layers of clothes. You glimpse a tantalizing sports headline on the bottom of one boot as you literally throw your children into the back seat of the car, face first, upside down, grab them by the legs, pile driving, whatever you have to do, just get them in the car. Noon, back out of the driveway into an unidentifiable, maybe tree, maybe telephone pole, maybe Bigelow. Wouldn't that be great? Except that's not in the Christmas spirit, Steve, and what would the kids say if you happen to knock your neighbor into a snowbank? A yellow snowbank. 12:30, arrive at the mother-in-law's. 1:30, open a present from said mother-in-law, which includes a book you've never heard of and 3 new scented candles that smell like wax, not sage, citrus, and cedar. 3:30, small talk with Uncle Herman about the rare blizzard on Christmas. Forgot the rum at home. Pour some red wine while he talks about the blizzards at 45, 54, 56, and 64, and how he and his brother didn't have a car back then, so they had to carry themselves on a rickshaw with bacon grease poured on the wheels for the 4 miles to work at the coal mines. 4:30, wolf down dinner. 5 o'clock, try to make your grand exit, realize it has started snowing again. 6 o'clock, shovel your car out of your mother-in-law's driveway with potentially the first shovel ever made, it's so old. It's now snowing heavier than ever. God, is it really necessary to keep manufacturing this stuff? It is your birthday, you know. Maybe take a break. Well, at least I'm away from the family. Forget I said that. 7 o'clock, arrive home after nearly hitting a tree stump, which had fallen out of that truck in front of you. You blame Bigelow. 7:30, you can't really decide if you like Jim Carrey as the Grinch or not. Fortunately, your kids have given you 11 chances since school break started to watch the movie while you formulate your evaluation. 9:45, bedtime, which is to say the kids go upstairs and play noisily with their new swag, despite you going upstairs and reminding them thrice that, come on guys, it's getting late, plenty of time to play with this stuff in the morning. 10 o'clock, mom commands that they sleep, instant silence. 10:30, mom has finished silently drinking her tea, goes upstairs after a peck on the forehead and a Merry Christmas, don't forget we're going to Macy's in the morning to return things. But at 11 p.m., you throw on pajamas, you crack the binding on that new book you've never heard of, take a seat by the sage, citrus, and cedar scented candles which actually smell like wax, and make a cup of hot cocoa. This book isn't actually half bad. Sports section would have been better, but this'll do. Instead of reading, though, you turn the lights out and position yourself to look out the window. And there's nature in all its heavenly beauty. You know what, Bing? You might be onto something.